We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important.
Best sports show in New Mexico.
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
You know, it was supposed to be just a ho-hum whatever weekend. Like, this was kind of one of the last whatever weekends on your schedule. It was mid-July. It was 100-plus degrees. By the way, it's okay to play golf in 103. You missed out a little bit. And so it's warm, but it was still beautiful out there. It's a dry heat, as they tell me. But what a weekend this turned out to be. It turned out to be a weekend in some respects of passing of the torch. Incredible endings. Incredible endings and great drama. And we like this was good. If when we go back and do this year in review, this weekend that we just had, while it's not going to have any NFL, although it does, and while it doesn't have any NBA, although it might, this might have been one of the best weekends we've had. Good morning to you, and happy Monday, and we are here to discuss it with you. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta. JJ's off this week, so it's me and DC. How you living?
Oh, I'm living real well.
Do you think I'm wrong on this weekend?
No, it was awesome. Wimbledon especially, that I just love it. That was amazing.
I'm told people don't like tennis and whatever, and that's fine. But that was amazing.
Absolutely amazing. I know that tennis is kind of a niche sport, but that last set, the way Alcaraz was dropping it, like it was magic. That guy was changing the game in front of our eyes. It was amazing.
He didn't just beat Novak, and Novak had his opportunities.
He did.
And if you didn't see it, 20-year-old Carlos Alcaraz won his first Wimbledon. He didn't come out of nowhere to do this. He is the world's number one. He's been coming for Novak and for everybody else on the men's side for a while, but he hasn't ascended at the top of the game, right, at Wimbledon, at the U.S. Open. Well, he has now. And he beat Novak Djokovic, won 6-7-6, 6-1, 3-6, and 6-4 in the fifth. And in other words, epic, when we use it here, it was that good. This wasn't Federer and Nadal back in like 18 or 19 or whatever that was. That was insanity. But this was close. And Novak, I think, hurt himself when he slid in the third set. I think hurt his somewhere in the lower body. And missed opportunities to put away a set that he lost. I believe it was the second set where he lost 6-7, 7-6 was the number. But Carlos Alcaraz is real. He is athletic. He is fast. He is strong. He is on point. And he's the new deal, man. And so when I say passing of the torch, and so Alcaraz is going to fit both of those great innings and passing of the torch. We might have seen the passing of the torch from Holly Holm to Myra Bueno Silva in the second round submission. Holly gets beat on Saturday night. It was just such a bummer. You came back. We went to the Dukes game. Yeah, it was the Dukes on Saturday night, which is so cool. Just visually makes me happy. and then watch Holly get submitted. We're going to get into that and what that means. But then the endings that we saw this weekend, from Rory McIlroy to win the Scottish, to come back, the shot he hit, the two shots, the approaches he hit on 17 and 18, and Rory has been so close. We've got the Open Championship, the British Open, as you like to call it, this week. But for Rory to win with birdies on the last two holes and come back and beat Robert McIntyre, who, by the way, hit a beauty of his own on 18. I got to watch this on the line now because I still don't get anything on my TV because of the DirecTV thing with Nexstar. I still don't get CBS. Still don't get Fox. I don't get the CW.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat.
Yeah, I'm about getting tired of that, by the way.
Yeah, that's gotten old real fast.
I'm about tired of that. And they're going to say, well, then change your carrier. No. Anyway, that was great. And then Steph. If Steph isn't the athlete with the most drip in the world right now, why don't you tell me who is?
Yeah, hitting an eagle to take down the Pro-Am, that is cold-blooded.
After an ace on Saturday?
That guy can play, apparently.
Kind of some crap. He was Marty Fish and him were at the top of it. This is one of my favorite events. This the American Century Celebrity Tournament that they do in Reno. The week before the Open every year, and I guess there were 96 guys. Right, Charles Barkley was in it, and Steph, and there was musicians, and Brian Urlacher was in it, and it was like it's a great field, and you watch guys who have game, and Steph wanted to win this thing. If you've not seen the hole-in-one celebration on Saturday, find it. Just do yourself a favor and find it. Steph with a hole-in-one on number 7 ran the whole length of the hole to celebrate, like the way it should be celebrated, by the way. And then he's leading the whole way. Marty Fish is up on him going into the last hole. Somebody in the stands screamed in his backswing, which is such Bush League junk, and he tugged it into the trees. Now, Fish still comes back and is in a position to make birdie. But it's the Stapleford scoring system, so it's points, right? And you get 6 points for eagle, 3 for birdie, par 5. Steph hits a big drive, had about 30 feet from way downtown. Bang. More drip on that dude, and he turned around before it went in the hole, started celebrating, and went and high-fived. He picked his wife up. He's in the crowd, ran around, jumping. He saw his dad, like the way it's supposed to be celebrated. This was a great weekend, dude. This was a great weekend.
Yeah, there's something about Steph. He's special. He's not my favorite player, but that guy, he is different, and he's growing on me fast.
I think he's my favorite player to watch.
He can do everything. He doesn't go out and embarrass himself. I really appreciate him.
I've said this many times. I think so many more of us can relate to a guy who looks small, although he's 6'2", 6'3", right? I mean, if he was standing next to you, go, wow, you're not really that small, but he looks small on the court, but played like the majority of us did. Majority of us weren't built 6'9", 250 pounds and could just physically dominate our way. He's a little guy who dominates. People have told me like Iverson, and I will tell you, Iverson was kind of like him, but not as good because he's done it more than Iverson. But a little guy who can take over a game of big guys and just dominate. And he's not just a shooter. He gets to the rim, and he plays a little defense, and he's a champion, and he seems like a good guy, and he seems like he's casual. There is some humility to him. What do you mean he shimmies? Yeah, okay, fine. They all kind of do something on the court, but when he opens his mouth, there seems to be some sort of humility. Yeah, he's one of my probably my favorite player of this generation to watch.
Yeah, I can definitely see why. I absolutely can see why. I remember him in college almost taking out KU.
Yeah.
What a game.
Davidson.
So he was always on the radar, but as he matures, it'll be interesting to see what he does after basketball because he's a champion. Yep. What can you say?
Oh, by the way, the ending last night in Sunday Night Baseball, where the Angels were up on the Astros, and the Astros came back in the bottom of the ninth, and Alex Bregman, an Albuquerque kid you might have heard, he came up, and I said, he's going deep. And he hits a 2-run home run, and then right after that, Kyle Tucker puts one in the stratosphere. Ohtani came back at homer to the bottom of the ninth, but the Astros hold on. Just great endings all over the place. We got a lot to do today. We're going to start off with a guest list right at the top. We're going to take a break now. When we come back, Jerry Kill's going to be with us, the New Mexico State football coach. Media days are this week, and I'm looking forward to talking to Jerry about the difference between now going into a conference and preparing. What is different now about preparing for a season when you're in a league as opposed to being independent? That's coming up next at 8 o'clock. Eddie Nunez is going to be with us, UNM's athletic director. We're going to talk to him about the state of his program going into the new season, the conference, and all those things. But when we come back, second-year coach at New Mexico State coming off of a victory in the Quick Lane Bowl, Jerry Kill is going to talk to us. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
A little bit, but they're coming off of a terrific back end of the first year of the Jerry Kill era down in Las Cruces. The Aggies win the Quick Lane Bowl in their thrilling victory over Bowling Green back in December. Now they join Conference USA. Now they go into the season maybe with a little more expectation from fans. And they go into a season for the first time in a long time in a conference. Jerry Kill is the second-year head coach at New Mexico State. He joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Jerry. How you living?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Really well. Thank you. Appreciate you spending some time with us. Hey, so we did this a bunch last year, and a lot of last year you said, and I know it was the truth. I don't know. I don't know what we have. I don't know that we're very good. And you turned around a team and took them to a bowl game. Now you're going into a conference. What's the difference this year, if there's anything, as you guys get ready for a season to go as a member of Conference USA as opposed to being an independent?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that, you know, the unknown going into a conference and the teams that you're going to play. But the advantage is we're not lining up against 3 Power 5 to start the season. So there's good news, bad news type deal. But, you know, it's a deal where, you know, if we didn't get in the conference, I wouldn't be the coach here. And I told that to Mario. And, because, you know, your kids got to look forward to winning a championship. They got to look forward to being an all-conference player. You know, it gives them something to play for. And it's hard to recruit to an independent school. And so it's given us a big boost in recruiting. And, you know, it's kind of like last year. You never know what you have until you get out there. But athletically, I think we're better than we were a year ago.
You go into it with you've told me a number of times, you feel like you've got better players. And I know we talked about it after recruiting, and when I saw you when I was down there, you feel like you recruited better. Winning certainly has to help recruiting. When you went out this year in the offseason and recruited, what was the difference in the reception from the student athletes, from their families, as opposed to maybe a year ago now that you're coming off of a bowl victory?
Well, I think the big thing was the bowl game, you know, going to a bowl game and then being fortunate to win it. You know, we were the only bowl game, I think, that day.
Yep.
And you know, that's what everybody watched, and that watched college football. And so I think in that situation we got lucky, and then we were fortunate enough to win the bowl game. And, you know, I think there's no secret, you know, because, you know, people follow football that we were, you know, ranked the worst team in college football when we started. And so, you know, we've come a ways, but we still got a long way to go. I think it's one of those things where, you know, things just kind of fell into place towards the end of the year, and the kids played hard. You know, I'll never have a team, you know, I've been coaching 39 years. I've never had a team play harder down the stretch than this one. And they didn't give in when it wasn't good. You know, they kept doing what we asked them to do. So if we can get this team to do that, we could be a pretty good football team.
Jerry Kill is New Mexico State's football coach. Aggies open up the season at home on ESPN on a Saturday night against Massachusetts. And then they get a home game against Western Illinois before playing their first Conference USA game, first of 3 in a row on the road. They'll be at Liberty, come to Albuquerque to play the Lobos, and then go to Hawaii. You got a quarterback in Diego Pavia. You kind of went back and forth last year, early in the season, with starting quarterbacks. And it was, I know we talked every Tuesday, who's your quarterback? And Diego took charge and became not only a really good player, but a leader and an almost kind of a legend down there, isn't he? After winning the way he won, and just a tough young man from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Well, I think the big thing is there too is that, you know, he didn't give in and kept fighting and through competition, and I think he finally, decided, hey, I want to get this done. And the game he had at Liberty was unbelievable. And then it's like anybody, you gain confidence, you get better. And then if you're from the, our great state, that's even better. And because people want to see kids in this state, whether it's in New Mexico or New Mexico State, do well. And so, I think all the positive, again, publicity that we received and through the year, was and towards the end certainly was awesome, and he was a big part of it.
Now you bring in a backup, and I don't know if he is a backup. I don't know how the competition is when you go into camp. Eli Stowers comes over from Texas A&M, 6'4", 225, big arm. I know they tried him at tight end at A&M, and so you told me middle of the year, man, we've got to get better. And we're going to go bring in some quarterbacks for competition. How are you going to handle the quarterback situation? Is it Diego's going into camp and somebody has to take it from him, or is it wide open?
Well, I think, you can't. Diego's the guy going into camp, and there's no question about that. And then Eli's, he's a bona fide freak athlete now. I mean, his vertical jump is like 42 or 44. And, and so he's a guy that can, he can run, he can do a lot of things, and we'll just see how. I'm not worried about it because it'll all work out. Maybe the most talented one's a true freshman that came in. He throws the ball better than any of them. And so we definitely got, some depth there where I don't have to worry all the time. And, Gavin's played. So, really along our whole football team, right now, we got, we got some depth. We didn't have that last year. And so that's why I think we'll, right now in the summertime, our kids are competing their tail end off. Just, some of them trying to get into camp that actually played some last year. So the competition's made us better.
Well, you got 4 of your top 5 receivers back. You got playmakers, right? I mean, so you got guys on the outside that you trust. Offensive line, always at this level, seems to be depth is an issue. Do you feel good about what you've got there, and are you good enough, deep enough to sustain an injury or two?
A lot better. A lot better. We're, Shiaz is a kid that we played as a redshirt freshman. He played at 285, and now he's 320 something. And so a lot of those guys have grown up, and then, we brought several kids in, some junior college players, transfer, and 4 freshmen. And so I think we definitely have more depth there than we had a year ago. And is it experienced depth? No, not so necessarily, but it's more experienced depth than we had a year ago. So we feel like, we got going in that we got 8 or 9 kids that can play.
Yeah. All right. Jerry Kill's with us, New Mexico State's head coach, just for a few more minutes. He's going to Media Day tomorrow in Frisco, Texas for Conference USA. So on the other side of the ball, you kept Bowling Green to 19 points in the bowl game, Valpo to 3 points the game before that, Liberty to 14 in the game before that. Missouri was, the SEC team's kind of the outlier, but you got Lamar to 14 points, UMass to 13 points, New Mexico to 9 points. You lost to FIU, you held them to 21. You're 26 for Hawaii. Like the back end of the season, your defense played well. A little bit thin in the secondary. Were you able to replace what you needed to replace there? Because obviously, what a turnaround on defense for your team last year.
Honestly, and I'm an honest person, we'll be better on defense than we were a year ago. We've recruited very, very well in the secondary, and we'll be, we'll be too deep across the board there and feel pretty good about it, and even a third in there. And so we knew going into Conference USA we were going to have to be good there. So we picked up, 2 or 3 guys that are, a couple of them are guys that, are going to be NFL-type people. And so, probably, we're going to be, 2, 3 deep at defensive tackle. And we'll just look different on that side of the ball. And we were good there last year, but we run better than we did a year ago on that side of the ball. Yeah. And so, you win with good defense and kicking game, but, I think we'll be just as good or better.
You know, I want to talk about this league a little bit, and I don't know even if Aggie fan knows what they're really getting into. And I was with you down in Destin for the meetings, and looking around the room, it reminded me of the old WAC. When I started the bowl game in 2006, Hal Mummy took me into a room with the coaches, and there was June Jones and Pat Hill and Hal Mummy and Chris Alt and Dick Tomey, and the WAC had so many great coaches. And you kind of walked me around the room a little bit this year, and I looked, and you know, you're there, and there's Rich Rodriguez, and there's Mike McIntyre, and Tyson Helton at Western Kentucky. Rick Stockskill's been at Middle Tennessee for 18 years. There's really good coaches in your league. Dana Dimmel, I think, is a really good coach at UTEP. Talk a little bit about this league, because I think there's a lot of people, especially with the realignment and teams leaving, teams coming, what you think of this league, because just sitting in the room with coaches, I'll tell you, it was impressive, and there's a lot of success there.
Well, you know, is that you know, it's kind of who's who, so to speak, and you know, it's one of those things where I played against probably 3 or 4 of them in my career, and you know, worked with one, and you know the other 2 very well, and so you know, there's no lack of that. That's for sure, and that's where I will tell you, I think there'll be a lot of close games in our league. You know, whether it's us being a part of it or not, but I think the coaches are so good in our league, and so you know, so well. You know, we've got a lot of experience in that league. You know, and so you know, got a couple of young hot coaches. I mean, Helton's as good as coach you'll find, and then Stockdale's been doing it, you know, for years, and you know, Rich Rod, you just keep going. Dana has worked under Bill Snyder and come here and has done a good job here, you know, and you know, at UTEP. I mean, he came in, it's a tough place to, you know, win, and came in and won. You know, we're trying to use some of the same formulas. So the bottom line is you're exactly right, and that's what people probably don't understand, how good the coaching is. Everybody's doing the same thing. You talk to everybody, and they're going to feel good about their team on media day, which they should. And but at the end of the day, if you can't win close games in this league next year, you're not going to be very competitive.
Jerry, I've done a lot of media days. Not one coach has told me my kids have not. One thing I know, we've all worked hard. Our assistant coaches are really good, and I like the culture. Right, that part I know. I want to end it on this. You said something. If we weren't going to go into Conference USA, I wouldn't be here, and you told Mario that. Why is being in a league for Aggie fans, for people who listen, watch New Mexico State football, even for New Mexico fans? I don't think people really fully understand why is it so important for this program now to have landed in a league and in this league.
Well, like I said, you know, before, number one, it gives you identity across the country. It gives you more bowl opportunities. You know, I think there's 5 or 6. You know that better than I do.
Yeah.
And then there's something, you know, recruiting to a conference, and certainly one that can go the distance if they're good enough, like Cincinnati did. But is that, you know, that's as good as conference as it is. And then you can recruit to that conference, and you're selling, you know, who you're going to play, and also selling, you know, you got a chance, you got a chance to win a conference championship. You got a chance to be an all-conference player. You got a chance to be, you know, I can just keep going. It's just, you know, when you're independent, number one, it also helps scheduling, by the way. That's a big deal.
Yes.
And when you're independent, your schedule is you just take who you can play. And so it just doesn't give you any identity, in my opinion, unless you're Notre Dame. I mean, you know, that's a little bit different story. We're not Notre Dame.
Yeah, right.
And so I just think that it gives us a lot more identity and gives you an opportunity to, you know, if ESPN, you know, you got different, you know, networks that will pick you up. You know, we're going to be playing on some Wednesdays and Thursdays and, you know, be the only game in town. And so it just gives you a lot of opportunity, even TV-wise and recruiting-wise, that you would never have. But I think the number one thing is recruiting.
Yep. No doubt. All right. Well, safe travels, and always appreciate the conversation. Look forward to starting these up regularly on Tuesday, right around the start of the season. But good luck as you get started with UMass, and we will talk to you before that game starts. Thanks, Jerry.
You bet. You're a good man, and tell your crew hi.
Will do. Thank you, Jerry.
All
Be
right,
well.
take care.
Jerry Kill, you're a good man as well, and I'm gonna tell you some stories when we get back. But he told you some stories. Aggie fan, what do you think? He thinks they're better. He just, I mean, that's a coach that's been around, and a coach that has a lot of confidence that flat out we're better. We're better offensively. We're better defensively. We got better playmakers. He just said we're better. He wins wherever he goes. You can respond to what you heard from Jerry Kill. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Encourage coaches and players over the next few weeks, right? Everybody's going to go into media day and this time of year feeling pretty good about themselves. And Jerry Kill in New Mexico State should feel pretty good about themselves. Coming off of a season where they won a bowl game. And you look at they won their last 3, and they won 6 of their last 7 last year, right? After that FIU loss, where it was like, holy smoke, what the hell happened here, right? Then they beat New Mexico. They had the San Jose State game postponed, beat UMass, pummeled Liberty on the road, lost to Missouri, the SEC, pummeled Lamar at home. Pummeled Lamar at home. Lost to Missouri, then beat the tar out of Liberty on the road, and then the Valpo game, and then the Bowling Green game. And I get it. You're sitting there as a Lobo fan going, well, who'd they play, who'd they beat? Well, one of them was you, for that matter. But they turned it around. There's no argument. They turned it around, and what he did was pretty impressive. And DC, I tell this story a lot, and I'm not telling you Conference USA is the SEC. So please, understand where I'm coming from and what I'm not saying. Okay. Back in the day, 2006, when I first started this, I remember going to my very first WAC media day as a bowl director, and Hal Mumme was the coach of New Mexico State. And he says, "Here, come on in with me, and come meet the guys." And it was in a bar in a hotel in Boise, Idaho. And sometimes you just walk into a room and you just kind of shut your mouth and listen, right? And he introduced me to Pat Hill, who was at Fresno State. He's a legend. June Jones, who was Hawaii, was a legend. Dick Tomey, who was at San Jose State at the time, was a legend. Chris Alt was a legend at Nevada. Hal himself was. I mean, you looked around the room, and the coaches in that, Dennis Erickson was at Idaho, and Hal was so gracious to me, and I just sat there and listened to stories and laughed. And I couldn't tell you half of the story. I couldn't repeat them to you, right? Even if they were fresh in my mind, I couldn't repeat the stories to you. But to sit in that room, and so I wasn't when I walked into the coach's room, and then last year at Conference USA, Hugh Freeze was there, who's now at Auburn. But you look, Mike McIntyre he's at FIU now. He was at Colorado and did really well at San Jose State. And Rich Rodriguez, who was at West Virginia and Michigan and Arizona, and went to the Fiesta Bowl, won our game twice. And, Jerry Kill's in that room. And Tyson Helton, who's Clay Helton's younger brother, who's going to, by every account, is going to be a star coach. He's at Western Kentucky. Rick Stockskill's been at Middle for 18 years. So I'm not telling you it's the SEC, but I think people are really kind of wondering what the Aggies are getting into. And I think that's kind of what they're getting into. And there's some stability there for them. And I think it's everything about it is positive. So, all right, if you want to get in, let me give you phone numbers, 505-246-0610. Area code 505-246-0610. Emails come in this morning, jeff@sportsanimalabq.com. The text line is open at 505-246-0610. And we'll hear what you have to say. Eddie Nunez is going to join us at 8 o'clock this morning, the athletic director at UNM. Get you kind of just an update on the program, and looking forward to talking to Eddie about the latest that he knows about what's going on with the conferences. Today's a big day. The presidents of the Mountain West are going to meet in front of Media Day. And one of the things on the docket I know is the San Diego State conversations. We'll ask Eddie what he's able to share with us about that. Dan, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. How you living, Dan?
Good morning, Jeff.
Hello,
How are
Dan.
ya?
Good. What's happening?
Oh, you, brother. Hey, so I'm going to be a realist.
Yeah.
I don't want State to win a single game, bro.
That's fair.
I don't want them to win a single game in football, in basketball, in tiddlywinks. I hope Coach Gonzalez puts up a 30-burger on them when we play them. Now, I don't know if all of these things are going to happen, but they are our rival.
Yep.
So we do not wish good things for them. We want them to lose.
Understood. They're not going to lose all their games. I'm telling you that right now.
Coach sounds like a perfectly nice guy.
Good dude.
But I want him to lose.
I know you a little bit.
Isn't that what rivalry is?
I imagine. I know you a little bit, and I know Jerry pretty well, and you'd actually really like him. you'd actually really like him. Yeah.
I'm sure I would, bro. I'm just being overly facetious about the whole rivalry thing, man. Of course, I don't want them to win, but it's a double-edged sword because I am a profoundly
Lobo.
Great, I'm Lobo, man, all the way, but I'm New Mexican all the way, and I love all my brothers and sisters that went to State, and I've got a lot of them, and if we couldn't pick at each other every time there's a game or something goes bad with one team or the other, oh, Dad, what's going on at UNM, man? What are they doing to each other? It wouldn't be any fun. So it's a lot of fun to have the rivalry. And
no doubt.
like I say, I would like to see them succeed in that conference, but I want to put up 30 or 40 on them when they come to UNM.
You might need more than 30. Yeah. All right, Dan. Good to hear you. I appreciate you.
Good to hear you, Jeff.
See
Later,
ya.
brother.
You might need more than 30 this year, yes. I'm just saying. I mean, maybe. Bruce says, ooh, when I hear Dirty Jerry, I want to play NMSU right now, Jeff. You can't wait till September 16th. Yeah, it should be fun this year. Should be fun. Text line says, where was the word waiver, Jeffrey? I wasn't in there. I mean, does it matter at this point? Yeah, they got a waiver to play in a bowl game. Yeah, they did. If it make you feel better, they did. They got a waiver. They didn't knock anybody out of a bowl game. But they did get the waiver. They got to 6-6 because they had 2 FCS wins, and then they went and won their bowl game. That's correct. There's the word. I didn't. It doesn't matter anymore. I mean, it just doesn't matter anymore.
No, it really doesn't.
I mean, facts are the facts, and that's part of the facts, but it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, they played a bowl game. That's really all.
And they won it.
Yeah, and they won, exactly. But I will say, I like how Dan gets fired up first thing in the morning for his rival, and I like that about college sports. I must admit the rivalries and passion
100%.
that comes out, like that makes, for me, I don't have a dog in this fight, but I will watch that game.
Did you go to that game? Actually, you'll have fun. That will be a good time out at University Stadium on September 16th.
Yeah, mark that. I will be there.
Yeah. All right. Today's a big day in the NFL. It's franchise tag day. What does that mean? It's the last day for the players who have been tagged as franchise players to come to a long-term deal or play on the tag. And one guy did yesterday. There's news on your Cowboys franchise player. That's Tony Pollard. I'm going to tell you what that is and what it means next. And what does DeAndre Hopkins signing with the Titans mean for the balance of power in the AFC? Nothing at the top, but it might mean something towards the playoff spots. That's next. It's a big announcement in the NFL on a big day in the NFL. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures.
A while, because according to a report from ESPN and CBS, Cowboys and Pollard are not expected to agree on a long-term deal. And here's for him, for everybody else. This is for Saquon, for Josh Jacobs. If the deadline comes, right, then they've got to wait until next season. They got to wait until the offseason. That's how that is. The deadline comes. Running backs will get $10.1 million on the franchise tag. And he signed the franchise tag. Saquon, from my understanding, has not signed it. In 4 seasons after Dallas took him in the 4th round out of Memphis, he's scored. I mean, he's been good. It's amazing, though, what's going on there. Still no word on Josh Jacobs or Saquon Barkley. Those are the big ones that you're looking at. Evan Ingram, franchise tag tight end of the Jacksonville Jaguars, did sign a deal yesterday. He agreed to a long-term deal with that club. So that's what we're watching as far as what's going to happen today. The big news in the NFL came when the Titans, it became apparent that DeAndre Hopkins, one of the 2 big free agents still on the market, is not signing with New England. but rather going to Tennessee. 2 years, $26 million for a 5-time All-Pro wideout. Now, why Tennessee? It's interesting, right? Because I thought there was some momentum for him and Dalvin Cook maybe to end up in New England. New England needed him. And so did Tennessee now. So did Tennessee. Hopkins can earn up to $3 million in incentives with up to $1 million in bonuses available based on his number of receptions, receiving yards. He'll receive, and this is according to NFL Media, $250,000 if he catches 65 balls, 75 receptions at $500,000. These are all bonuses. 85 receptions, $750,000, and $1 million for 95 receptions. And I guess they pulled out all the stops in this free agent thing on the visit. They hosted him in a suite at Nissan Stadium for CMA Fest. They fed him well. Now, when he went up to New England, I guess, we met with Bill Belichick. I guess they put bacon whoever they are. He tweeted this. He hasn't had pork in 8 years. And the clam chowder they gave him had bacon in it, and that really bothered him. Look, I don't know if that's the reason he didn't go up there. This is huge for Tennessee. To me, this puts Tennessee back in the wild card mix. And I will even argue with you, it puts them in the mix for the AFC South, because as good as we think Jacksonville is getting, I still think they're on the rise and still a bit unproven. I've got a veteran quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. I've got one of the 2 or 3 best running backs in the league in Derrick Henry. Now I just added a stud wide receiver. Yes, but your quarterback's still Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is pretty good in the regular season. He struggles mightily in the playoffs, but I think he's been pretty good in the regular season. Not great. Keep in mind, this is a club that's gotten to 2 AFC championship games with that makeup. Their defense, I think, is better. I'm not telling you they're one of the best teams in the AFC. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you it puts them back in the conversation for postseason. Do you disagree with me?
No, not at all. I think it's very interesting because you're right. In the South, yes, Jacksonville looks good. They just signed their tight end for 3 years.
Evan Ingram, yep.
Yeah, but I wouldn't count out Tennessee. When you have the best back in the league and now one of the top receivers, that's a Band-Aid that can make an average quarterback look good.
Yeah. No, this is a guy just throw the ball up there in his area, right? He's 31 years old. But he still has 64 receptions for 717 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he only played 9 games last year. He's getting incentives at 65, 75, 85, and 95 to play a full season. He played in 9 games last year, and he had 64 catches. So I look at putting him on a roster where he automatically becomes the number 1 receiver on the club. Treylon Burks is there, and Nick Westbrook-Ikini are the other receivers. Like they desperately needed him.
They did, because they without him, they really didn't even have a number 2.
No. Now they got Derrick Henry, and I'm going to assume Ryan Tannehill makes it through the season, being pushed by Will Levis and Malik Willis.
That's an interesting quarterback room, because Will Levis, when he slid, I think potentially that lit a fire under him. And if he comes out and actually plays the way that he kind of showed in college, he could be something.
I agree with you.
He might be playing by the end of the year.
I agree. I agree with you. I've been on the Tannehill train to the point where I think he's a way better quarterback than people give him credit for. I'm not telling you he's a top 10 guy in this league.
But you don't have to be.
It helps to be.
It helps.
But I mean, when you say, all right, he's not a top 10 guy, I mean, there's only 10 out of the 32 are going to be top 10 guys. It doesn't mean the other guys aren't any good. Guys who probably slipped out of the top 10 right now are guys like Matthew Stafford and Kirk Cousins and, I don't know, maybe Daniel Jones. I hate list radio, but I mean, right off the top, I think Dak Prescott's out of the top 10.
It's funny when you talk about the top 10 because really 11 to 20 are basically the same guy.
In large respect. I mean, I think, everybody says Mahomes and Burrow and Allen are 1, 2, 3. Aaron Rodgers is still in the conversation of being one of the top quarterbacks in this league, right? At 4, Jalen Hurts is probably a top 5, right? Would those be everybody's top 5 right now?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. And then you're throwing a whole bunch of different stuff out there. Is it Lamar? Is it Deshaun? Is it, who? Is Tua in there? I would almost argue that 8 through 20 are somewhat the same guy.
Yeah, I think that's really fair. And so at that point, it's like, who's got the better line? Who's got better backfield? Who's got better tight ends or receivers? So it's the variables start to...
You just made Ryan Tannehill a hell of a lot better, didn't you?
It sure did. It sure did. And he's one of those guys like Kirk Cousins. If he just stays consistent, doesn't turn the ball over...
Which he does in the playoffs.
Well, sure, in the past, but if that changes, assuming that he plays a style of football like Kirk Cousins, protects the ball and gets it to the guys, especially Hopkins, he could look like a totally different dude.
Eddie Nunez, University of New Mexico athletic director, is going to be with us next. I want to talk to him. There's a big meeting today amongst the presidents in regards to a number of things, including San Diego State. Just kind of a state of the program as we head into a new sports season, a new sports calendar, a new school calendar year, and what he's able to share with us about the conference and the makeup of it. It's the opening drive, Jeff and DC on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Registration is now open.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
This one I know summer's over. And boy, summer gets shorter, even though it's hot as hell. Tuition's due at the Academy and Media Days. come. That's how I know summer's over. We're getting ready to start a brand new sports and academic calendar for universities across the country. So that'll be a good time to check in with Eddie Nunez, the athletic director at the University of New Mexico. Camp will open. They open up on the road. Does football against Texas A&M, then home games against Tennessee Tech. And then New Mexico State. Eddie Nunez is the athletic director at the University of New Mexico. I don't know, are those indicators that summer is over for you as well?
Oh, yeah. Summer has come and gone very quickly.
It was like a week.
Yeah. It's done.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right. You guys got to be excited over there. And I know, it's like spring training in baseball, right? I hope spring's eternal all the time when you're starting over again. How's things over on South Campus? You're administration's moving into the new building. You got a new football season started, new volleyball season started. How you feeling?
Oh, feeling great. It's that time of year where it comes and goes very quickly. You sit back, kind of self-reflect on the previous year, all the successes we had with the championships, conference championships, our women's golf team finishing in the top 10, men's in the top 25, cross country number 2, and then you kind of start reflecting on, we've got a whole another year. We better get ready because it's coming fast and furious. And so summer comes and goes very quickly. Our football team's been working out. Both basketball programs have been working out, and that's kind of like the start of be ready because it's coming and it's coming fast. So I'm excited, and I know our coaches are excited. And I think the last thing I'll add is, with winning comes our coaches being sought out by other schools, and we've had some successes across the board in all our sports in some way somehow, and so we've had to deal with a couple changes within our program, and it's unfortunate because I hate losing some great coaches, great people, but that's part of it's part of rebuilding and restarting and adding new ones to our team.
Specifically, Joe Franklin, who won national championships, and I know this one was hard. You're an AD, you're a boss. You got you hire, you fire, people come, people go, and then there's some special ones along the way. And I'm not looking to downplay any other losses, but I know Joe was special not only because he won at an elite level, but that was a great human being who was always pulling on the right end of the rope, and was while he was about his programs, he was about the program and the state overall, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, he was one of the first coaches I sat down with, had an opportunity to really understand who he was as a person, and from the first day, he basically said, "I am all about UNM Lobos." It wasn't about his track programs cross country; it just come off a national championship, and the reality is that's who he was from the start to the finish. Any coach, any program, didn't matter. He knew where football was and the need for them success in football and basketball and women's basketball and everything. And he was one of our biggest advocates in the community, speaking about a complete athletic department. So, no, he's going to be definitely missed. But I'm excited to have Darren Dawson coming on board. But what Joe brought to the table is just some of those intangibles that sometimes. And Heather does a great job of that, and many of Todd and others on our staff do a great job. Danny does an unbelievable job. So it's really watching by example, and he was one of those kind of leading the charge for us.
Eddie Nunez is athletic director at the University of New Mexico. You talked about the importance of football, and I get this question a lot, so if I get it, I know you get it. It's a big year for football, isn't it? And it's that's not a question, right? I phrased it as a statement, but how do you answer it? Because I know you're getting it every day. House football, football stirs the drink. Football's put so many of these schools in conversations that they're in right now in regards to conference realignment. And so when you sit there and you go into it, how are you looking at it all?
Well, first, I think it's like the expectations don't change. Every year we want to win and we want to be able to do it and do it the right way. I think you have to take a step back and realize everything that's come through this program, where we started, where it is it where we want to be? And I think Danny has echoed that many times. Probably not. We would love to be one year ahead right now, but COVID didn't allow that. And for many programs, every program across the country. But the reality is, what I appreciate about Danny and his staff, that they've taken a step back and said, you know what, we've got to look at things a little bit differently. Bringing in coaches like Coach Vincent and others to be able to evaluate the offense, be able to do things the right way, change it up. I'm really excited. I really am. I'm excited about the student athletes they brought in. I think there's a lot of great kids with a lot of talent. And again, talent's great, but you got to be able to put it into action and be able to show everybody what you can do and do it together as a team. So I do believe Danny has a great group of young men out there. I think he has a unbelievable coaching staff that he's assembled. But like anything else, like he'll tell you, it's all about putting the work in and being able to show come the first game against A&M and everyone following that we can compete in this league and we can compete in FBS, and it's something that we've believed and I still believe, and so I'm excited, but only time will tell. You know, that's how the way I'm approaching it. I'm not here to say we're going to win 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to take it one game at a time, and that's what I've told Danny is let's just focus on the first game at hand, take it from there, and that's what our kids need, and just own it. Just everything we do is own it and get after it and learn from all the opportunities that we have ahead of us.
And you say this a lot, and I don't know if everybody hears it. I think some people probably hear it, and it resonates. But you say we want to win the right way, and there's a number of ways to do it. There's quick fixes, and there's been a number of ways that's been attempted around here over the years. But you say the right way, and it feels to me, and I'm biased. I like Danny a lot. I consider Danny a friend, and so maybe I'm not good in this role in that regard. But it feels like he's doing it the right way. What does that mean when you say the right way in regards to what Danny's doing?
Yeah, it's about building the program. You know, I think the transfers changed everything around. The whole NIL's changed everything around a little bit. And the reality is when he came in here, he wanted to build it right, kind of take the model Rocky had established years ago and really take it to a whole nother level. And the game has changed. The industry has changed. And so he has been able to adapt. But he's also bringing in high caliber individuals, kids, coaches that understand the importance of giving back to the community, being part of it, building these kids from top to bottom. So it's about doing it the right way in everything you do. And sometimes it takes a year more than we all wanted to. And that's a decision we have to be aware of and we have to be understanding. Sure, we could have had a quick fix and have somebody come in here and say, okay, let's go and win. And maybe they win 8 games, maybe they'll win 7, maybe they'll win 9. And the following year they're gone. And here we are starting again. So our purpose was to be able to establish something that can be sustainable. And we knew it wasn't going to be easy. It has never been easy. Success is never easy. I mean, it doesn't matter what program, what league you play in. To build something and be able to sustain it takes time and it takes the right person. And I do believe Danny is. And so this is an important year, but it's an important year like it was last year and the year before. I really do believe it.
Yeah. Eddie Nunez is with us for a few more minutes, the athletic director at the University of New Mexico on the Sports Animal. I understand the league, the presidents are meeting today. And talk whatever you can share with us in regards to the future of the league and the San Diego State situation. And I've said this publicly, and I think I've probably said it to you. I mean, I think everybody understands if whether it's New Mexico, Colorado State, Boise State, Fresno State, Reno, whoever, if they're presented the opportunity to go to a quote-unquote power league, they're going to explore that conversation in that opportunity. San Diego State's, the way President De La Torre worded her letter probably wasn't exactly perfect for them. Where are we with that? Because what I've told people is I think when it's all said and done, there's going to be a lot of noise, and the league's going to look like it has looked, at least for the next couple of years, with San Diego State in it. Is that close to where you are?
Did I miss something? Was there something going on over the last several months?
Yeah, there might have been something.
We're the Mountain West. We're strong. Everything is great. No, you know what? It's today's a fun day for the presidents. They're going to be getting together and having some conversations about what's transpired with the whole San Diego State and everything else. And I don't know if determining the final, decision about if they're in, they're out, if there's any provisions or anything else, that's all to be discussed by the president. I know I've talked to President Stokes, who's the president of the Mountain West, and she is she understands the expectations, understands that we have to stay as strong as we can as a league. But you hit the nail on the head. The reality is everybody in our league would, if the opportunity presented itself, they'd be interested in trying to do it. But you have to, if you're going to go down that path, which anybody would be willing, you have to prepare yourself and put yourself in a situation where you know what the risks are, the outcomes, and if you get yourself in a position like unfortunately like San Diego State is in right now, that you can adapt and be able to deal with it. So it is unfortunate. I don't think it was ideally the way they wanted to handle it. I think they were probably pushed in a direction. Again, this is just my assumption. I think they were pushed in a way that they believed that things were coming down faster than they were. But we know one thing: we are the strongest outside of the Power Five. We know we are as a league. We have shown it time in, time out, and I think, from my perspective, we need to be able to continue to do that at all levels. So it's important. It's important for us right now to be able to figure this out. They're going to be a part of this league. We knew that already for this year. That was going to happen anyways. Right. The question is how long and what it's going to entail. And look, the one thing college athletics has shown is change is going to happen, and there's going to be more conference realignment coming in the horizon. I know there is, because that's just what college athletics has been doing for, not just 10, 20, 30. I mean, this has been going on 70 years since, you may remember, we started in the Rocky Mountain, and next thing you were in the WAC, and so on. So conferences change, teams move. We, as the University of New Mexico, got to put ourselves in a position to be. We've done everything else that we need. All our other sports are at a high level. We've won more conference championships. Academically, we're killing it. The university is an R1 institution. Our fundraising is at all-time high. Our budget has been balanced for 5 years now in a row. When you look at all that, the last piece of the puzzle is we have to have success in football. We know it. Nobody's shying away from that. And if we can do that, you never know. We might be that next school that's in consideration, or whatever happens with our league and adding more to it in the future. So this is still an important time for all our fans to understand that we have to continue to do it right. But we're not far away. We just have to continue to chip away at this and put ourselves in a position where we're ready when the time comes.
He's Lobo Athletic Director Eddie Nunez, and I've talked about this so many times. Geographically, this market fits. Size-wise, it fits. Television market, it fits. Facilities, for the most part, UNM would fit. It's been a football piece. Back on the conference alignment thing, and you said they'll decide whether or not San Diego State's in. I can't see a scenario. Nobody's been able to present me a scenario where the league is better without San Diego State. So I don't think that's going to be an option. Whether they're in or not, it's going to be, is there a penalty? But if and when they leave, or as you talked about additions, I've speculated a lot. I know a lot of people have. What can you share, if anything, in regards to talks about adding maybe non-football playing schools? I know the charter says currently that that a school who comes in has to play football. Is there been talk about that? There was the Gonzaga piece a couple of years ago. How progressed did those conversations get?
I would tell you that we've continually looked at other schools outside of the football realm, like the Gonzagas of the world. I think those are always something that we have to continue as a conference to be diligent about and look at the other schools that could add value to the Mountain West. Now, to be able to get a full distribution, yes, you have to have football in the mix because, as we all know, 85% to more of our funding comes from television rights of football, associated with football. And so that's where this whole kind of dynamic starts changing a little bit, because when you look at schools that are predominantly basketball institutions, they're wanting to be compensated like everybody else in the league because they want to compete apples to apples when it comes to basketball. Well, unfortunately, we can't distribute that, and I think the bigger conferences like the SEC and the Big Ten have shown that, look, they have a model and it works, and yes, they've been able to maximize their earnings because of the success and the history and everything else. But when you look at conferences like American, the Mountain West, and others that are right there at the tier of the Power Five, right underneath it, the reality is we're not far away. It's for us to be able to bring somebody like a basketball only has to be able to provide a lot of value from the TV rights. And yes, Gonzaga has a lot. We understand that, but that's part of us being able to present enough for them and them present enough for us. And television guides a lot of what that value is and dollar value. So we're going to continue to investigate, look at all these. I think the reason why it becomes so interesting for one of those main basketball schools to be able to look at the Big 12 and all that, as people have speculated out there, is because even a half portion of their revenue that they distribute to all their institutions for
It's a
football,
game
half of
changer.
that just for basketball would be much more than one of those schools get already. So it's a little bit different. It's more money that they can bring to the table. But I do believe everything's on. I mean, when you look at some of those other schools that we still have some on the horizon that we're vetting and thinking about. But right now we know the best thing for the Mountain West is to remain strong as the current number. You're correct. We're not trying to kick. I don't think anybody will tell you today in our league we don't need San Diego State. We want them to be part of ours, but we want to make sure that we have a model that's going to allow us to be successful, not just for this upcoming year, for next year. And if it's going to happen that they're going to go and transition to another, we want to make sure that the league is taken care of and all the members, that's all of us, some way, somehow.
It's business, man. Everybody's got to you got to take care of yourself, and I think everybody, including them, they probably understand it. Always appreciate the conversation, and let's do it again soon. We'll get you in studio, maybe here before the season starts, and kind of do a little deeper dive on it. But just want to give people a little perspective of where things are. Today's a big day in the Mountain West, big week as we all head over to Vegas. Safe travels to you, and I will see you soon. But always appreciate the conversation.
Likewise, Jeff. Thanks. Have a great one.
Be well. Eddie Nunez is the athletic director at the University of New Mexico. There's a lot of meat on that bone. A lot of meat on that bone, including what alignment looks like in football. It's a big year. It's a big year. We're going to get into that next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care.
Jerry Kill is already up. If you missed the New Mexico State coach, he was with us this morning at 7:15. It's available for you at sportsanimалabq.com or wherever it is you get your podcasts. Just go in and ask for opening drive, and you'll find that stuff. And he'll be up here in a few minutes. A number of interesting things. Look, anybody who thinks, well, I don't know, are they going to let San Diego State back in the league? Yeah, they're going to let San Diego State back in the league. Now, is there going to be a fine or a fee or a we'll see. I don't know what they actually can really do, to be honest with you. Do they want to litigate this? Was that really a resignation letter from the league, or was it just an intent to resign or to leave the league? They're going to have to deal with that. But there's no conversation. It's like when BYU left, right? There's no legitimate argument that the league is better without BYU. There's no legitimate argument right now that the league is better without San Diego State. The argument is, I hate them, those pompous a-holes. Okay, but that's not an argument that makes the league better. So they'll be back in for however long. Will they jump the first time they're offered? Yeah, they will, just like you would and like everybody else in this league would. But like Eddie said, it's business. You got to protect yourself. I think, another thing in there, though, was the importance of football. And he wants to win the right way. I think some of you are just want to win. But I'm not. We're not going to get into it because I know what the answer is going to be. I'm not going to ask him, "Hey, does Danny have to win this year, or are you going to fire him?" I mean, look. He's not going to answer that. And I've been doing this long enough. I know kind of what you're going to get, what you're not. I'm not going to ask him something like that. But he talked about how important football is. He said the only missing piece right now is winning in football. They've got basketball back to a level where they're competitive. They went to the NIT. They should be better this year. You've got almost all of your other sports at a competitive level. You got it down here in volleyball and softball, but right, you were good in women's soccer and obviously cross country and track and golf, but a lot of you don't care about that. It's football and men's basketball. And I get it, and I think he does too, and that's a big part of what you heard. You can respond to any of it at 505-246-0610, area code 505-246-0610. Your emails are coming in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ's off this week. I will see him in Vegas from what I understand. But JJ's off. Did he just take a week off? Is he retired?
Feels like it.
Is JJ retired yet?
No.
Is that what's going on here?
He's got another 15 years in him, I'm sure.
That's good. He can do the 30 years in 30 days. I don't know if they'll let me hang around that long. You think they will?
We'll bring it back. We'll make it happen.
Can I be around? You already throwing me out the door, so am I done after 15? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I figure at 60, you're going to kick back, start playing golf every day. And
yeah, we'll see. We got a big day coming up. Is it next Friday? A week from this coming Friday is our 15th anniversary show.
Next week.
Yeah, so we'll be announcing where we're going to be and invite you all to come out and spend some time with us, which is really exciting. All right, franchise tag day in the National Football League today.
We do have some updates.
What do you got?
Josh Jacobs, about 22 minutes ago, it seems like they are going to make a deal.
That's a big deal for Raider
Big deal,
fans.
yes. And it also seems like Saquon might be on the same path. So we might have some running back action here before the end of the show.
All right. We had the Jaguars reach a deal with their franchise tagged player, Evan Ingram, their tight end, yesterday. That was a big deal. It sounds like the Cowboys will not reach a deal with their franchise player, Tony Pollard. That's the reports. But some news this morning that's breaking, and again, I nothing is finalized yet, but there are some reports out there that Saquon Barkley may reach a deal. It was amazing to me that, well, if I play on the franchise tag, I'm not going to be ready for week 1. What? But if somehow you get a new deal, then you're going to be ready. Okay. And both running backs, Josh Jacobs. Did you get numbers on him? Have you seen numbers anywhere?
Not yet. And that will be interesting because that 10 million number, like how much over that?
I'm going to guess at about 12.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well.
I'm going to guess an average of about 12 a year, but 3-year deals. Right? I can't see him being much longer. Using a little bit of DeAndre Hopkins as a barometer, the multi-time All-Pro wide receiver who is signing with the Tennessee Titans as a free agent. Hopkins' deal is 2 years. Year 1 is a base of $12 million with incentives up to $15 million. We get 26 over the 2, so an average of like 13 plus incentives. Who's more valuable? You could have one of them right now. And I know you're going to tell me it depends on your situation, but I'm going to kind of go in a general term.
When
Saquon Barkley or DeAndre Hopkins?
Saquon, and the reason is the team loves him. They say he's the heartbeat of the Giants. And
Josh Jacobs or DeAndre Hopkins?
Probably Josh Jacobs, just because of volume.
So you're saying the running back is still more valuable, but they're getting paid less. That's kind of what you're telling me, right? The running back position to you is still more valuable, even though it's not in the NFL.
Yeah, it seems like some strange logic, but you've got to have it. You've got to have it.
But do you?
The guy's carrying the ball 295 times a season. That is a huge chunk of your
Who's
offense.
the leading rusher for the team that won the Super Bowl last year? Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point, but their team is constructed very, very differently than the Giants or the Raiders. So, you don't have a Mahomes to change the game. You don't have a Kelsey out there. So you have to have a running back that can.
All right, who's the leading rusher for the Buffalo Bills? Was it their quarterback?
Probably.
Who's the leading rusher for the Baltimore Ravens?
Quarterback. But not everyone has a running quarterback. So if you don't have that element, you've got to have a running back.
Well, this running back just got paid. They're considered one of the best teams in the AFC. You've got one of the best quarterbacks, and now did this running back just break the market for running backs? What's that going to mean when these two guys sign today? I'm going to tell you about a big deal for one of the top running backs in the AFC, what he got and what that means for the whole running back market, including Josh Jacobs and Saquon. This might have been the impetus to get these guys signed today. It's the opening drive. That's next on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you. even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Into your ears every morning. I know you got a lot of options, a lot of opportunities, a lot of different places that you can go, and extremely grateful that you choose to be with us every morning. Thank you for spending some time with us. You're welcome to join us today at 505-246-0610. That is the Sports Animal hotline or phone line, and our text line is the same number, 505-246-0610. Your email's coming in this morning, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. And JJ's not here with us. It's me and DC. So you're saying that you're seeing chatter this morning that Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs are going to come to an agreement on a deal before the 2 o'clock deadline.
That is what it's looking like, which is funny because yesterday they were saying the exact opposite. So anything could happen, but especially with the Josh Jacobs side, it seems like there will be a deal that gets made before 2 o'clock our time.
All right. This may have helped over the weekend. Joe Mixon is the running back for the Cincinnati Bengals, and he agreed to restructure his contract and remain in Cincinnati. He got $12.8 million cap hit, right? And look, the running back market's crashing, as you know. So the number that he got, Cincinnati cleared $4.3 million, almost 4.4 in cap space. That could help them in their quest to re-sign their quarterback, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, other pieces. Mixon had a $9.4 million base salary with a 12.8 cap hit. So he is now re-signed, and he'll make $5.51 in base salary, another $2 million in incentives. What am I missing here?
In the end, it's like $9.4 million if he gets it all.
Okay.
The reality, though, is he took less than the franchise tag. So that's what makes it really interesting. It's almost like he saw the writing on the wall. He knows there's a 3-year lifespan for running backs, and he just signed another 3-year deal. So,
well, it's non-guaranteed base for this season, which the 9 point was his base salary. So, where do you put Joe Mixon in the mix? Like third tier, second tier running back, second tier? I mean, if your first tier is going to be Saquon and McCaffrey and Josh Jacobs, I imagine, and Derrick Henry, do you have anybody else you're putting in the first tier running back? Jonathan Taylor, when he's healthy?
He could be, yeah. It's 2
and
years and one was.
What about Austin Eckler?
I like Eckler's game. I really do. I think his versatility to be able to catch and run and his quickness, that guy, he is special. Christian McCaffrey's another guy that.
I had McCaffrey on there. So. I mean, if you're going to tier this thing, and I'm not looking to go, let's play list radio here, but I don't know. There's how many guys are there that you're looking at top tier? A few. I mean, who's your number one running back? Is it McCaffrey?
Probably. Yeah, I love McCaffrey's
I think
game.
Eckler's got to be there. I think Saquon's got to be there. I think Taylor's got to be there. Did you put Chubb in there? Derrick Henry? I mean, did Henry
Chubb
slip?
definitely. Henry has slipped a little, but you've got to keep him up amongst the top.
Do you know who's like top 4 in everybody's preseason rankings for running back? Bijan Robinson.
That's one that definitely stands out, and I think
he's a rookie.
He is a rookie, and he appears like he might be a great rookie, potentially, with what people are saying. I just think it's interesting because he has no NFL wear and tear on him. And that's, I think, why he is in that top 5 tier. He'll be an interesting one for fantasy.
I'm not sure I'm ready to put him in a top tier yet when he hasn't toted the rock. Tony Pollard's another guy. I would have to put him second tier. All right. This is guys changing places. Where do you put Travis Etienne, Ramondre Stevenson? Miles Sanders in Carolina now. What kind of action is he going to get? Breece Hall is coming off the injury. What's he going to get? How much do you elevate Alexander Mattison now that he's going to be a number one back in Minnesota with Dalvin Cook on? And Dalvin Cook's going to land somewhere, right?
He is an interesting piece, though, because he kind of he's waiting it out, and I think he is going to be the guy that gets to go where he wants to.
And find a spot where he gets to be the guy, right?
Absolutely.
Who is in dire need of and he's going to go to a good team. You know where he fits really well to me?
Where?
Buffalo.
Oh, yes. He would definitely, he would make a mark in Buffalo. He might be the piece that puts him over the top, to be honest.
I mean, as I look at that, and I get it, their quarterbacks are leading rusher, but their top two running backs are James Cook and Damian Harris. Latavius Murray's there too, so he'll get all the touchdowns because that's how that works. But I look at a team that, okay, who can win? That's got a lot there that maybe is, I don't know, a few pieces away. I think he's great there. I know people think he's wonderful with the Jets. I'm not sure I think that's exactly the spot, because I think the Jets, if Breece Hall is healthy, although if Breece Hall's not healthy, he works really well there. Detroit went out and drafted a running back. I don't know if I think Green Bay's that. How close is Green Bay? It all depends on Jordan Love, doesn't it?
It really does. It absolutely does. But his teammates are also coming out and saying they'd run through a wall for him. So, his 3 years.
I will tell you what I know about him. Okay, so we had him here at New Mexico Bowl his junior year. So and this is not who he is today, right? So that's 5 years ago, right? He played in Frisco, I think, in his senior year. DC, I'm going to tell you, dude was legit as a human. And again, did I spend hours with him? No. I spent half hour with him, talked with him a little bit, got to, have a conversation with no lights on and no people around. And I really enjoyed the young man. Now, he was on our show a couple of times from Media Day with these recorded things that we do this week. But, and I know, you sit in this chair and you're not supposed to root, but you're also a human being. And that's why I've always liked Derek Carr. Derek was great with us. I thought Derek was just such a really cool, down to earth, grounded, mature person. I thought Jordan was that. And I'm going to tell you, the fact that there hasn't been a lot of negative noise coming from him, and you're going to sit there and say, well, what's he going to say, dude? He's playing behind Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, but you know what? He basically has had the first 3 years of his career wasted. He was drafted wherever he was drafted, okay? Whatever team he was, I don't remember, whatever the number was, okay? But I want you to look at all these quarterbacks who've come in the league over the last, since he's been there and who've gotten a chance. Whether it's Trey Lance who's gotten hurt, or Daniel Jones, or Jalen Hurts, or Justin Fields, or go down the list of all these quarterbacks. I don't know if he's as good as them or not. You don't either. Because you haven't got to see him play. Well, I saw him play in that exhibition game. Okay, stop. Right? But all the quarterbacks, Mac Jones, right? Tua Tagovailoa, who've come in since him. Maybe Tua hasn't been since. And have gotten a chance. And you haven't heard a word out of him. And so I think, do you see, that's why you hear the guys in that room, in that camp, in that team, saying they'll run through a wall for him. I think there's a little bit of, you know what? Bleep Aaron for leaving us and thinking he's way better than us and leaving us behind. And this dude wants to be here, and he's, from every account, done everything right. Now, is he good? We're going to see, man. I mean, odds will tell you a franchise isn't going to hit 3 franchise quarterbacks in a row like they did with Favre and Rodgers, and now with this guy. But if he's any good, they got something. I think, look at the NFC. Again, we keep talking about how wide open it is. They've got receivers. We think they've gotten better on defense, right? They added another receiver this year. Watson became really good when he was healthy by the end. We think Romeo Doubs is going to be good. Jaden Reed, they went out and drafted. We know Aaron Jones is a good running back, and they got A.J. Dillon to back him up. They got a tight end in Musgrave, I think is okay. And then I think what they did defensively, they got better. Tell me why they can't be the surprise team in the NFC.
They certainly can. I mean, for all the reasons you just said, I think I look at Love, and I don't think I would say the first 3 years were wasted, because the same thing happened
with Rodgers, and
look what happened. Yeah. So if he went in and learned the offense, made relationships with the other players, he might have done the best thing possible in those 3 years and got himself truly prepared to take over a team that has Super Bowl aspirations.
So I like that. I would counter with, give me one other quarterback in the NFL right now who took that route. You can't.
Mahomes sat behind Smith for
For
a year.
1 year.
But still, he learned a lot in that 1 year.
Yeah, and for 1 year.
And look at him now.
Yeah.
You know, he credits Alex Smith for a lot of his progress.
That used to be the blueprint.
Yeah, the 1 year blueprint. Yeah.
That used to be the way it was in the NFL. You would draft a quarterback and not throw him to the wolves right out of college. And 100%, it's proven. Well, not 100%, but it's proven with Mahomes, with Aaron Rodgers. Now, I don't know if it's proven. Jeff, they wouldn't have been good if they played right away. I mean, Mahomes would have been just fine. Aaron Rodgers would have been just fine. But those guys, Rodgers sat for 3 years behind Favre.
Yep.
Right? And I mean, the Rodgers story is unbelievable when he sat in the green room but who else? All these other guys, man, you draft you and you play. You can't find one. Drafted you and you play right away. So we're going to find out. Was it wasted? I hope not, because I like the young man, and it seems like the rest of his team does. All right, I'm going to update you. There's some movement in the NFL on the franchise stuff. The latest on that, and there's some Cowboy news, or at least stuff coming out of Cowboy camp in regards to Tony Pollard and who is their franchise tag. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit International
Big
Protective.
day in the NFL. You've got till 2 o'clock Mountain Time, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. If you have been franchise tagged to come to a long-term deal with your team, or you play on the franchise tag or you don't play. There's some chatter this morning that the Giants and Saquon Barkley are getting close. There's some chatter this morning that the Raiders and Josh Jacobs are getting close. Evan Ingram, the tight end of the Jaguars, came to an agreement with that team last night. Cowboys franchise tag player is Tony Pollard, your running back. He is one of 3 players, all running backs, who have received the franchise tag and still not agreed to a long-term deal. Now, unlike Saquon and Josh Jacobs, the other 2 tagged running backs, Pollard has signed his franchise tender. They haven't. It's worth $10.09 million for this year. So somehow if he plays on that, he's going to have to learn how to eat on just $10.09 million this year. But the reports coming out of Dallas are they are not expected to reach a long-term deal with Tony Pollard. So Cowboy fan, you're going to have to live with that, and I think you're fine with it. When you're dealing on a guy coming back from a major injury and never has been a bell cow back before, it feels, I don't know, man. Look, who am I to tell anybody what the right money is for you? But I was a little bit surprised when he was the franchise back, although then I looked at it and I shouldn't have been surprised.
He only made $4 million leading up to this year, so signing the tag for $10 million was like a no-brainer for him.
Yeah. All right, what do we got today? We got giveaway Transformer Rise of the Beast. We have a digital download to give away today. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Are we going to do that at 9:10 today?
Perfect.
All right, 9:10 this morning, so stay with us. Transformers Rise of the Beast. You can buy or rent Transformers Rise of the Beast on digital today. Optimus Prime and the Autobots team up with a powerful faction of Transformers known as the Maximals to save Earth in this adrenaline-fueled adventure. Get over an hour of bonus content when you buy it on digital. It's available at participating retailers. It's rated PG from Paramount Pictures. We'll give one of those away at 9:10. All right, we just had a little conversation about who are the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, and I'm not big on list radio, but Jeremy Fowler, former of the Albuquerque Tribune and now one of the senior writers for ESPN covering the NFL, polled scouts, coaches, executives, and players in the NFL to get the top 10 quarterbacks. There's some pretty good ones left out. DC, you were saying you don't have to be top 10. No, it helps, but there's some pretty good ones who are left out, guys who have done some pretty good things. I'm going to give you their list and see what you think. And what does it all really mean as we go into another NFL season? It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us on a beautiful, warm Monday morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
So good morning on the OD. Happy Monday. Jerry Kill was with us. Good conversation with New Mexico State's head coach as he heads off the Conference USA Media Days tomorrow in Frisco, Texas. It's going to be warm in Frisco, bro. Like, it's I don't know if it's going to be hotter in Frisco or in Vegas. It's going to feel hotter in Frisco with the humidity. But I think it's going to be like 114 in Vegas for the Mountain West. Eddie Nunez is with us as well, the athletic director at UNM. Both of those are available for you wherever you get your podcast. You can go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com, and click on OD and find it there. The text line is the phone line is the same number for you here at The Sports Animal, 505-246-0610. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. And watch the show. Adrian's got the podcast, the simulcast up on Comcast Channel 26. It's on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, and on ProView Network's YouTube channels available for you there as well. On the text line, Nick Chubb, it says, is first-tier running back easily. I think that's right. I think that's right. This one says Double J's was just out for a week, now suddenly out a week again. No mention of it on Friday. Interesting. Not really. JJ had some vacation to burn. Want to do it before football season starts, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be at Media Day this week. So,
yeah, he's working. Don't you worry. He is working.
No concerns. No concerns. At least I'm not concerned. Dan's in on the email. Jeffrey, no, Juan Jose, and Derek Charles. More bowl opportunities, says Jerry Kill. How many more does NMSU need? Last year, desperate bowls were begging 5 and 7 clubs to come to their game. Not really. If you consider 6 and 6 New Mexico State, 5 and 7 because of the, they would have been 5 and 6 because of the waiver. One 5 and 7 team did get in. That was Rice. They got into the game in Shreveport. The year before, they created an extra bowl game to accommodate all the eligible clubs. So sometimes it goes. I don't know that there were desperate bowls, plural, begging 5 and 7 clubs to come to their games. I don't know that. I think that's right. There was one 5 and 7 team that did go to a bowl game. All right, we're having this conversation about quarterbacks and who's top 10. And you know I'm not a big list radio guy, but we're having a conversation about who are the top quarterbacks and there's really good ones who are not top 10 that are really good. I don't know that I consider Dak Prescott top 10. Jeremy Fowler. Did you know Jeremy Fowler worked here in Albuquerque at the now defunct Albuquerque Tribune? He was a writer here. He is a senior national football reporter for ESPN. So he put together, he surveyed league executives, coaches, scouts, and players. And they asked for the top 10 players at 11 different positions. All right, so your top 4 quarterbacks are easy, right? It's everybody's top 4 is kind of the same.
I think number 4 is the one that's probably going to get the most debate.
Go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, we all know the top 3: Mahomes, Joe Burrow, who I just love his game. I think he's just a quarterback, a classic quarterback. I love him. Josh Allen 3. Then for me, I do start to look at Herbert at 4. I have a hard time putting Rodgers over some of these guys below him. Just in a new situation, new offense, and he's aging. So I just that's the one that stands out to me as maybe a little bit too high.
So you have Herbert at 4?
I think I would place him at 4, yes.
All right, they got Aaron Rodgers at 4. I think Herbert's going to have to do something in a playoff game at some point to jump Aaron Rodgers. Everybody loves Justin Herbert, and he's listed at 5th. Highest ranking was 2. The lowest ranking was 9. He was number 7 last year. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and Justin Herbert.
And I'd actually, number 6, Jalen Hurts, I'd put above Aaron Rodgers as well.
A lot of people would. But last year he was unranked. Now he's number 6. Highest ranking for him was 3. Lowest was 10. Number 7, Lamar Jackson. Interesting. Number 8. This is where it gets really interesting. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that stood out to me as well.
Trevor Lawrence ahead of a lot of quarterbacks right there at number 8. Number 9 got really interesting. Dak Prescott, number 9. Probably one of the most polarizing figures on the list, right? He's a fringe top 10 passer. He's consistently voted into these polls and never considered in the upper echelon. According to Jeremy Fowler, he was on 60% of the ballots and never higher than 7th in any of the rankings. His highest vote was 7. Okay. And number 10 is Matthew Stafford. Stafford's a tough sell, right?
Yeah, after that injury, I think a lot of people are looking at him as one of those, 8 to 20 guys.
All right, so who's not top 10? Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Derek Carr, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Kyler Murray. I mean, right? The difference, and we were saying what between you said between 10 and 20 isn't very much. Hell, I'd go up to the difference between 8 and 20. Right? I mean,
yeah, that group is just very close statistically, and you can make an argument for a lot of those guys to be in that fringe top 10.
Well, I mean, what's the difference right now? You're going to say 8 was Trevor Lawrence, 9 was Dak, and 10 was
Matthew
Stafford.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields. I know everybody's given up on Kyler Murray. I mean, Russell Wilson for that matter. I've kind of given up on Russell Wilson, but I don't know that I've given up on Kyler Murray yet.
Kyler's a tough one. He, with his injuries, the big question is, will he even be back in the beginning of the season? Mm-hmm. And so assuming that he is, it is an interesting debate because he has shown some flashes. He's got a big arm. He's got the speed. If he plays his game the way, he's designed it and their team has, they've lost pieces, but they've designed an offense for him to thrive. And if he is able to work in that system, he could be a top 10 guy.
This doesn't include Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, any of these total unknowns that are going to go at it this year and try. Somebody's going to jump on the scene.
Definitely.
Somebody's going to be really good this year. Mac Jones wasn't mentioned. He probably shouldn't have. Kenny Pickett's probably going to, may develop this year. Anthony Richardson at Indianapolis may become something. Jim Garoppolo has been to the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game. He's not even on the honorable mention list. Geno Smith was NFL Comeback Player of the Year. He's not even on the honorable mention list.
That's surprising. That really is, because especially with how
I think people think he's a one-year wonder. I think he was a one-hit wonder in a lot of people's mind.
They keep thinking about him before last year.
Yeah. It's hard to believe your own eyes when you think you know what you've seen, and then you see something different. That can't be right. Look, man. I mean, the difference between 8 and 22. I mean, it's not that wide.
No, it's not. And that's what makes the NFL so interesting, because that 22 guy turns into an 8, and suddenly you have a new playoff team.
That's right. Bruin James, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, James.
Good morning, guys.
What's happening?
Just calling in the article in the ESPN the magazine about the whole NFL thing with John Gruden and everything. So it goes to show you that the NFL is rigged, and that the tuck rule and all that against the Raiders, it does exist. The NFL does not like the Las Vegas Raiders because what happened in the past with Pete Rozelle and Al Davis. The article said that Pete, the guy at the NFL, didn't like certain things, so he leaked certain emails and stuff like that. And the union, the players' unions, the representative there, he was jonesing for his job, so he signed a lease with the devil too. And it just, man, you guys read it? It's terrible, man. It's awful. It tells all about the NFL and how it's just turned into its own. It's like an evil demon. So just that's awful.
Yeah, I didn't read the whole thing. No, I will. I will. So I'm not one who believes the whole thing's rigged. Like it's WWE. The outcomes are predetermined. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, the Tuck rule. I mean,
the Tuck rule was horrible. Tuck rule was horrible. It's still a fumble. I agree with you on that. That was horrible.
Yeah, it was a fumble. And then so the referees didn't want to, let the Raiders win. And then look, what does it do? Tom Brady's career, if that's a fumble, Tom Brady, which way does he go after that?
Knows?
You know what I mean?
It's totally fair.
So
totally fair on that.
All right, guys, have a good
one. See you, James. I'm not ready to say I think the league's rigged, like WWE or professional wrestling, where the outcomes before. I'm struggling getting to that point.
No, getting 106 guys to play along, it's laughable.
All right, we got something to give away. When we come back, though, he's got more drip than anybody in sports. He can do anything. I mean, the way he won this weekend, the fashion in which he won, and the swag with which he won. There's nobody like him. That's next. But right now, caller number. Give me a number. What number you want? Caller number. You going 2? You don't want to work that hard? You want to answer 2 phone calls? 2. All right, caller number 2. 505-246-0610. Caller 2, you will receive a digital download of Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Call now. 505-246-0610. Caller 2 is your winner on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
And the sports animal.
You get a winner? Caller 2.
We got a theme going.
I've been doing this for a long time. I don't know if I've ever had caller 2.
Number 2, man.
I love it.
It was the theme of the week last week.
It was the theme of a segment last week. 3 to 21 times per week. So I asked you going into the break, has anybody got more swag, more drip than this guy in sports, period? Steph Curry is cool as clutch. Yeah, that's fair. There's been clutch athletes. Alex Bregman's pretty clutch. He had a big 2-run home run in the clutch last night. But guys won, 4 rings? He is, I don't know that we're having an argument anymore, the best shooter in the history of the game. Anybody arguing against that? Is there, anybody still telling me Pete Maravich or Damian Lillard or anybody's a better shooter in the history of the game than Steph Curry?
Oh, they're out there, but they're wrong.
There's nobody that really, we're not having a real argument. He's the best shooter in the history of basketball, right?
He changed the game, man. He is as good as it gets.
He's relatively unfazed on the court. He's matured. Yeah, you can tell me moments over his career. Oh, he didn't come through here. Yeah, every athlete's done that. No, I mean, even Mike. Even Michael didn't hit every one of those game-winning shots at the end. You see all the ones that he did, right? The way he won this week, the way he carried himself, the way, like he was at the American Centuries. It's a celebrity golf tournament in Reno. And these guys, and ladies. By the way, how the hell does Annika Sorenstam get to play in the same category as Steph Curry and Marty Fish? She was one of the best, if not the best, women's professional golfer in the history of their game. She gets to compete with like guys who play football and tennis and basketball. Anyway, Steph had a hole-in-one on number 7 on Saturday. If you've not seen it, like it's one of the best highlights of the year, don't you think? We're halfway through the year. Like if you think of the best highlights of this whole year in sports, can you give me a better one than Steph hitting the hole-in-one?
Not off the top of my head.
The reaction of him running the 140 yards with the caddy chasing him and the dudes chasing him and him throwing his hat, hands up in the air, running down after making a hole-in-one.
Was that his first ever hole-in-one?
His second ever first in a tournament.
Yeah, I do the same thing. And stuff like that, I just, as a fan, I love it. And
hell yes.
Yeah, it's like, how can you not love that guy?
All right, is that a better reaction or... So he goes into the last hole of the tournament on the last day. It's Staple for scoring. He's down by 3. So an eagle is worth 6 points, a birdie's worth 3, and a par is worth 1. Marty Fish, the guy who's beating him by 3, has a birdie putt, what, about 10 feet, 15 feet? Not a gimme by any means, but a good chance to make it. Steph's basically got to make the eagle to win. He rolls in a 30-foot eagle on the last hole with all that pressure and goes bonkers, turns away before it goes in the hole. Way downtown, bang! Bang! Just like he's shooting a jump shot. You know how he shoots and he turns away and he's down the court before it goes in? Dude's got more swag than anybody I've seen this side of Ken Griffey Jr.
That is... I like that a lot, actually, because he does remind me of the kid. Ken Griffey Jr., man, like that.
I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, he is such a stud. I'm over here. I'm fired up all of a sudden because he's just got it, and you like to see guys who have it and know how to use it.
So this is why I kind of compared him to Kenny. I saw, and I was flipping around this weekend, right? And there was great stuff this week. I know this was supposed to be like a quiet weekend, but the way Rory won the Scottish was incredible. The way Carlos Alcaraz won Wimbledon was insane.
Totally insane.
The Sunday Night Baseball last night with Alex Bregman and Ohtani, and it was great. Like there was really, really good stuff this weekend. But I was flipping around, and it caught me because I was in Washington State. I worked in Yakima, Tri-Cities, Washington, when Ken Griffey Jr. at the height of that, at the height of the kingdom. I've told JJ this. Up until being in PNC Stadium, when the Aztecs beat FAU and Lamont Butler hit that game-winning shot in the national semifinals to the Final Four this last April. Up until that kind of became my number one sports event that I've been to in person. Game 5 of the 95 ALDS when the Yankees won the first 2 games over the Mariners in New York. Mariners came back and won the next 2, and so Game 5 was in the Kingdome. And Griffey hits a home run in the 9th to send it to extras, and then he scored from first base on Edgar Martinez's double down the left field line. You've all seen it. That was up until that was the best event I've ever been to in person. Like that was the Kingdome was different, but I was there during Kenny's whole coming up. I mean, he was every night was a highlight, and I remember leaning on the cage in spring training, watching him hit, and the conversations that he was having. But the swag that the kid had when he came up. Help me. Am I missing someone between Griffey and Curry that had this kind of cool, but I'm different cool. And I know I'm different, but I don't have to tell everybody. I tell you all the time, right? The ones who are really good don't have to tell me how good they are. They don't have to put their crown on their own head, right? And give me you got somebody in between there?
I kind of think about Allen Iverson.
Okay.
He was a different dude.
Yeah, that's nice.
Think about Randy Moss.
Okay.
I mean, Randy out of Newport News, that dude was special.
Yeah, and so neither one of them ever won a title, right? Just like Kenny never won one. So Steph, out of those, would be the only one, right?
He has enough for all 4 of them.
He could share a ring with everybody. Yeah, he's got one to go around for everybody and still keep one for himself. Yeah, that would be good. Those are good. I'm going to still lean on Griffey and Steph a little bit different than those guys, more relatable to everybody, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Maybe that's not right.
There's something about rolling up to batting practice with a backwards hat and just slamming home runs. That is just cool.
Well, and doing it on both ends, right? There's been a lot of dudes who hit home runs like that.
But they weren't chasing down long balls in the center field.
Now, the way he played probably broke his body when he was in Cincinnati, and that's why he had so many injuries. So the way it ended in I tell people this, and we have a caller and a contributor to our show. He calls and emails. His name is Edward, that tells me that Bonds was the best player of our generation. Ken Griffey Jr. is the best player at his peak that I've ever seen. Now, Mays might have been better. Well, Ohtani. We might have to change it to Ohtani. But before Ohtani, Griffey and I watched this piece on the MLB Network the other day. Everybody from that generation who knew him and played the game swears that he did not juice. That he was like, he's the one guy that era that I know he didn't do it. I know he did it clean. I know he. And you take it for what it's worth in that era, right? Which almost makes him better. Like, if you're going to tell me, all right, who's better, Griffey or Bonds in their prime? I take Griffey because he was a true 5-tool player. Could run, could hit for power, could hit for average, had a great arm, was an unbelievable defender.
Yeah, but you're describing Bonds in Pittsburgh, too.
I understand. I lean to Kenny. But I'll listen to the argument. There's an argument there.
There is, but no, I'm with you. Kenny, oh man, his game, you can just watch his highlights anytime. It's different.
It's just different.
It is different, and it stands out.
And he had one of the most beautiful swings the game has ever seen.
Gorgeous swing. His swing, you're right. It's just like, there's just nothing like it.
Why are left-hander swings look so sweet? Why do they look so beautiful?
That's a great question.
Tony Gwynn.
Tony, yeah.
He's one of my favorite ever. He's the best hitter I've ever seen.
Yeah, I got no argument on that. Tony was the man.
just pure hitter.
Yeah.
When Tony was coming up, and he was the first guy to do video. Like I remember I worked at KUSI TV in San Diego, which was the Padres station. And when I was my last year at San Diego State, I was an intern producing there. They took me to Yuma for spring training. So I got to spend some time. We did a lot of obviously Tony stuff. And then I had a full season media pass. It was my first ever full season media pass for the Padres. My last year. You know what that meant? That was like 82 meals, dude. That was
nice.
Eaten in the major league press box. But I got to watch him on a daily basis. He was amazing. And by the way, just a world-class human being. Like a world-class human being.
I've never run into him personally, but I've heard that many, many times.
Oh, just great. So I go back to Steph on this. Okay? Guys who are different. There's guys who hit the ball a long way. Dude, McGuire hit the ball a long way. Canseco did. There's been guys who have been unbelievable basketball players, but dudes who just were different. You could show me a silhouette, right? No uniform, just a silhouette, like just blackening it out, like you know what I mean? Just a silhouette. I could tell you that's Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh yeah.
I could tell you that's Steph Curry. Right?
Yeah, I would say so. There's just that signature shot motion that anyone who's watched it over the last 8-10 years, whatever it's been, knows that shot.
And the swag. There's some on-court celebration. And I think that's part of the game. We all like that. Nobody wants to see, I don't know, give me a great player that you always told me was boring. Federer?
I like Federer. I don't find him boring at all.
No, I agree with that too. I don't mind those guys either, by the way. But, Derek Jeter probably wasn't a lot of celebrate, but there was some. Look, man, when you hit a big shot in a big game, shimmy a little bit.
I like it. It adds something to the game.
To me, there's different. That's different than putting a crown on your head.
He's not taunting anyone. That's the thing. There's a certain level of class that he brings to his celebration. I appreciate that.
And there's a line. There's a line. And whether it's your team that's being clowned, you're going to interpret it differently. But I don't know. And then I watched him this weekend. And I watched him at the golf. And, the stupid conversation. Is golf a sport? And are golfers athletes? Yeah, it's a sport. Yeah, why don't you go out and walk a golf course 4 days in a row and have the skill that they have? Athletes come in different forms. There's runners and jumpers and throwers, and there's different sorts of athleticism. Golf is an athletic event. Now, it's not a cardio event. It's not an anaerobic event. Are you a different athlete that plays basketball than golf? Yeah, you are. But to watch him, I'm not going to say master that because I don't think anybody's mastered golf. Well, there's been a few. But to watch him win that, in the way in which he did it, in the exciting way in which he did it, in the clutch way in which he did it, like you and I stand over a putt for $5 and it's 5 feet and it's like, damn, it's for $5. Dude hit a 30-foot eagle on national TV with hundreds of people around him and millions watching to win a tournament. And I don't know how much he won. It's not about the money to him. It was about winning that damn thing. To beat Marty Fish like that.
Can you see him playing professionally after he's done with the NBA?
Well, can't you see him on the senior? So the senior tour's at 50, right? Steph's 35. He's going to play another 4 or 5 years. And if he just plays golf when he gets retired, like, can't you see him joining the senior tour at 50?
At 45, why not make a run at PGA?
All right, because those guys are really good. Like those guys are a different good. But but to your point, if he completely just focuses on golf, he's a different cat, man.
Would he be like the new Tiger Woods, forgetting the wins and everything? But would he draw the crowds?
Joining the tour at 45. Would he join? I mean, he would garner crowds, and he would get a lot of sponsors exemptions. He got a few sponsors exemptions to I think some Korn Ferry tours. And he didn't do incredibly well, but I'm just going to tell you. So Marty Fish's birdie putt was going to be about 3 feet. Steph had to hit that. Here it is. They're showing it to you right on your screen again. If you're seeing it, he had to hit it. I'm just telling you the drip that he's got, the swag that he's got. He's a different cat, man. Ali-esque is maybe a little too much, But to me, the most since Ken Griffey Jr. 505-246-0610. You watch it? It was a hell of a watch. It was a hell of a watch. I'm going to get your opinions when we come back. Hey, you got an alarm at your business. You got an alarm at your home. You've installed security cameras. It's not enough. Aaron Jones started International Protective Service, IPS, back in 2006 to protect homes and businesses in Albuquerque's Four Hills area. Now, hundreds of homeowners and business owners all around town trust IPS to protect what they've worked so hard to build. Don't wait to be a victim of vandalism and theft. IPS offers standing guards and 24-hour patrols to protect your business. They respond quickly to alarms, prevent loss and damage to your property. Private security can save you money, and this is affordable private security. I've trusted them for years. I suggest you give them a call, see what they can do for you. The number is 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420, or online at ipsglobal.com. IPS, making Albuquerque a better and safer place to live and work.
95.9 FM and AM.
Mitch, there's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. Upstairs goes the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter.
Some chatter about Saquon and Josh Jacobs figuring it out. Mountain West presidents will meet today to discuss, amongst other things, San Diego State's status in the Mountain West, I guess. They're going to be in the league. How that's all going to work out, so you get something on that today as well. 505-246-0610. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and DC. Vince, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Vince.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Hey, I love you referencing Tony Gwynn is probably the best hitter that you've ever seen. You know, in baseball, it's a game of failure. You think about it. If you can hit 30% of the time,
yep,
you're outstanding. 35% of the time, you're beyond that. But the most amazing statistic about Tony Gwynn to me was
strikeouts.
I think he played like 9,300 games, 9,500 games. He struck out 434 times.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
When you think about that, that's less than 5% of the time that he struck out. And opposing pitchers had to say, there's probably some people maybe they feared more because they could put it over the fence more often than he did. But I bet he garnered a lot of fear in opposing pitchers just because he is going to be one tough out. And for him to only strike out that few times, that's a guy that puts the ball in play. And I think everybody today, if you could just watch game film of him, he didn't go for the glory. He wasn't trying to swing for the fences every single time. He put the ball in play, and he put the ball where the defenders weren't. And it's just incredible hitting. I remember watching him at the Murph several times. Phenomenal player. But I'm glad you referenced him because I personally think he was the greatest hitter of all time.
Yeah, the best one I've ever seen. No, I appreciate you, Vince. Thank you very much. And that stat, I knew where he was going with it. He would have, and so at bats, and this doesn't include the amount of times he walked. So he walked 790 times in his career. So when you say he was 9,288 at bats plus 790, that puts him over 10,000 at bats, plate appearances. And he struck out 434 times.
That is so ridiculous. It almost sounds like a typo, but I know it's not.
Stupid. It's just crazy. I mean, I'm looking through his career. The most he ever struck out in a season was 35. In 1986, he had 642 at bats. He played 160 out of 162 games. He had 642 at bats, struck out 35 times. It was amazing the work Tony put in, and this was now everybody they've got in-game video, right? You see them all looking at the iPads and they're figuring it out, and they're looking, watching at bats and pitch. Tony was there. There was a room underneath Jack Murphy Stadium. It was Tony's video room, and he would get VHS tapes of not only his swing, but he was the first guy to study opposing pitchers. Who's pitching tomorrow? Who's pitching next week? And Tony had a video room, and he was the first guy that just got into the studying of his swing. And there was nobody better. Just nobody better. And, last of that breed, him and Ripken and Jeter, that played their entire career for one team. And I'm not telling you that's right or wrong. I think there's something special about it. I don't know that I think it's right or wrong. I'm not gonna begrudge a guy for becoming a free agent and going and getting paid somewhere and going to get a better deal. But there was a love affair. Tony was from Long Beach, went down to San Diego State, played at San Diego State, got drafted by the Padres, played his whole career with the Padres, became the head coach at San Diego State until his passing. He was one of the most gracious, soft-spoken. Have you ever heard? Like, he had that little voice, right? And he didn't have that insane athletic body, right? Tony was a little pudgy, but man, could he hit!
I have never heard that about the video study. That is really amazing, actually.
It was. We used to just. I remember when the year. So I was. God, it had to be 88. I think that was the year. That year. Can I tell you how blessed I was that year?
Please do.
So. That was the year. I grew up a Dodger fan, right? But I was working for the Padres station. They take me to Yuma. This is why I stayed in TV and radio. Like, they let me produce the Sunday night show, and so I had a pass. I was down at Chargers camps and all this stuff. But it was the year on consecutive nights. You could look this up because it's true. I lived it. I was in the park the night Oral Hershiser broke Don Drysdale's record for consecutive scoreless innings pitched in major leagues, and got to go down and was in that interview room. And the next night the Dodgers won the division. And I was down in the locker room for that celebration, that whole thing. And as a college kid thinking this is what I want to do with my life. It kind of figured it out right there. Right?
Isn't it funny how that works? You walk in the room and you're like, this is where I need to be.
Well, I told the story one time when Vin Scully passed. So I would go up for dinner. I would go up usually for the first 4 or 5 innings. I'm a college kid, man. Like you're eating well, and I met a lot of people. So I was sitting in the media dining room at Jack Murphy Stadium, kind of eating by myself, looking at. They give you notes, the stack of notes, and I'm just nerding out on this stuff. And a gentleman I saw peripherally came up and says, "May I sit here?" "Yes, please." Like, "My name is Vin." Vin Scully sat down.
That's awesome.
And I had dinner with Vin Scully for 15 minutes, and he asked me about me and what I wish I would have asked him more questions. Like it was Vin Scully. And he says, Jeff, it's been a pleasure. I got to go to work, but best to you. It's been enjoyable. And he went off and called the game. Yeah. So I was so blessed that year. Like I know how lucky I had it, but being around, this guy, that's kind of what got me into this business, man. That's why you're stuck with me now. Because KUSI gave me that media pass.
The good old media pass. That is something, though. Vin Scully is just such an epic dude. Having dinner with him that's a cool story.
Well, he'd have been on my list of when people always say, who do you want to have dinner? Who would you like to? I'd love to, and I did, and I didn't really take advantage of it. I didn't pick his brain. I was just, he kept asking me about me and what I want to do. And you might want to, and I grew up at the time, one of his broadcast partners of Dodger baseball was Ross Porter. And I grew up with Ross Jr. Ross was a year ahead of me at Taft, and we played basketball together. So I'd kind of known them. But it was the people I was surrounded with early in my life who were in this business. Tom Kelly was a longtime voice of USC. His son Chris was one of my best buddies. They used to take me to the Coliseum for USC football. It's like my mom wanted me to be an attorney. I'm like, there's not a chance, man. I'm just pointed towards this. Maybe
I've gone down that same exact road.
Maybe I could have made a living somewhere.
Yeah. Are you sure you don't want to be a lawyer?
I know. All right. When we come back, we haven't hit this yet. I'm going to get you up to date on everything you need to know as you go through your day. And one of them is going to be Messi in Miami. And this is, it might not be your world, but it's really big. And it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sports Animal. All right, keep an eye on the news today because people are going to be talking about it. 2 o'clock our time, deadline in the NFL for players who have been hit with a franchise tag to come to an agreement on a long-term deal with their team. If not, by 4 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Mountain, then those players, Tony Pollard, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, will have to play on the franchise tag or not play at all. Cowboys, by every report, not expected to reach a long-term deal with their franchise tagee, Tony Pollard. He'll make $10.09 million this year as a running back if he plays on the tag. There are reports this morning that there's progress from the Giants and Saquon Barkley, the Raiders and Josh Jacobs, but I haven't seen anything that says that those are done yet. So keep you up to date on those as we go, but we'll have more tomorrow morning. But watch that. That's what people are going to be talking about today. People will be talking about the Wimbledon final yesterday. Carlos Alcaraz, 20 years old, beat Novak Djokovic to win Wimbledon 6-4 in the fifth. 20 years old, and there might be a big new name in tennis. He was already the number one ranked player in the world. Rory McIlroy won the Scottish Open. He is the favorite headed into the Open Championship at Royal Liverpool this weekend. And Stephen Curry with an eagle from 30 feet, way downtown, bang, wins the celebrity tournament up in Reno in dramatic fashion. And people will be talking about this. Lionel Messi. He is playing soccer, or football if you prefer, in the United States. Inter Miami is in last place in MLS. That is the last place MLS team. But yesterday they introduced their new signee, Lionel Messi, to a sold-out crowd at DRV PNK Stadium. The Argentinian soccer star has a multi-year deal with the club. Started on Saturday. By far the highest profile player in MLS, I would say ever. I'm being told highest profile since David Beckham. When you say Messi is a higher profile signing than even Beckham, I mean, Beckham went to LA, Messi goes to Miami. Beckham was big because, I mean, it was kind of the biggest name since Pele, right, to come over. But Messi's bigger than Beckham.
Yeah, coming off the World Cup, it's kind of hard to argue against Messi, that's for sure.
Quote from Lionel Messi: "I'm very happy to have chosen to come to this city with my family, to have chosen this project. And I have no doubt that we are going to enjoy it very much. We're going to have a good time and great things are going to happen. Thank you very much. Thank you all for this day. I can't wait to start training to compete. I feel the same desire I've always had to compete, to really want to win and to help Miami continue to grow," end quote. Project. I always, I don't know, maybe because of what we do, DC, I hear words and words, if that makes any sense. And when I hear a guy like this come over for all that money, that's my latest project. I mean, what more does Lionel Messi have to do in the game of soccer? Nothing, right? He's done everything. Dude's coming over here, and God bless him. If this is what he wants to do, and and end it this way and make a boatload of bank and project. It's an interesting term, no?
No, that is. But if he looks at it, that the project is growing American soccer, I'm all for it.
Okay. If that's the project, I'm down with that. If that's the project. It's really cool. Beckham introduced him. Beckham was on hand. So this is a big deal. I don't know. So do you watch MLS? Have you like?
Not really.
I don't.
No, it's no, not on the radar.
And I'm not mad at people who do. Enjoy what you enjoy. Will you watch a Messi match?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so that will get you over to watch it.
Absolutely.
Well, then he's done his job.
He has, and hopefully he continues, because it'd be great if they build the game over here.
I think if there's, a bunch of people like you, I'll watch it if I'm home and I remember. It will not be appointment like watching Holly fight the other night was appointment for me. Now disappointment at the end, but it was appointment for me. I don't know that I would make it a point. I got to get home and watch the Messi match. Although doing what I do, I guess I should make an appointment TV, right? Hosting a sports talk show.
It's probably an argument to be made for that.
I understand I need to do my job. I'm always working, DC. Always working.
I have noticed that.
Yeah, always. I mean, you've been with us, 3 months now?
Just about.
No, I don't one day ever come in here unprepared, do I? It
No.
may not. I'm working outside of this place.
Yep. You work here, then go do more work.
We're always working. All right, so that's kind of a big deal. I just, to your point, if it grows the game, then it's worth it. If it gets more people like you to say, yeah, I don't ever really watch MLS, but I'll watch MLS just to watch. Now, will you watch one game? Then if he'll score in his first game. He will. He just will. Right? Then will you watch the next one?
Probably, actually.
Okay.
I could see if he gets hot and plays well his first handful of games, I could see a situation where I'm looking forward to the next game.
All right. Soccer highlights are fantastic. I love soccer highlights. There's other things I enjoy watching more than watching 90 plus minutes of soccer to get 2 highlights. That's just me. I've tried. I've been with JJ for 10 years. Nobody was more an advocate of soccer in this town, even before New Mexico United, than JJ Buck. And he's tried to get, and I just, everybody's got their thing, right? People tell me baseball's boring. Who cares? All right, I kind of like baseball. So do your thing. That's why there's the good Lord who invented the remote control. I've tried. I'll watch. The World Cup is amazing to me.
It totally is. The thing about soccer, for me personally, I never played soccer. So it's kind of like hockey.
Right.
It's kind of like tennis, where I can watch it. I have no opinion on how the game should be played, so I can just enjoy it.
It's kind of cool.
It is. It's totally cool. And that's why I'm just over the moon about hockey. It is so much fun to watch. I don't know how to pick up a stick properly.
I love hockey.
It is awesome, isn't it?
I love hockey. You watch golf differently because you play it a little bit?
Very much so. Golf and baseball, I have a hard time watching because I have those opinions. Football, I enjoy it, and I have opinions, but I can watch it as a fan too. Golf and baseball, when I watch it, all I think about is I should be playing.
When I watch, I appreciate how, like, golf and baseball, that's good. Basketball too. I can appreciate how tough some of the things are, the nuances of some of it. I think as an athlete, or once was an athlete, I was a good athlete, not great at anything. I was good at a bunch, not great at anything. But like you watch some of the tough shots, like I'll just give you Rory's shot on 18 yesterday. Right, that 2-iron that neither one of us could hit, and it was low and cut and landed 12 feet from the hole. Like, I could appreciate how hard that was. I think there's a lot of people go, "Oh, that was a good shot." No, man.
When you know what it takes to make a shot like that, I agree. There's it changes definitely the way you watch it, and you can appreciate those shots so much more because you understand the variables that he had to deal with to make that shot, and that is special.
Yep. All right, working on a bunch of stuff for you for tomorrow. Dante Martin, Lobo defensive back, who's going to media day. I'm hoping to get him in here tomorrow. I got all kinds of stuff I'm working on for the rest of the week. John Sullivan, the Mountain West Conference associate commissioner who's in charge of football, who, by the way, is a former Lobo All-America in football. Yes, he's ascended to the ranks of now he's the guy in charge of football for the Mountain West Conference. He's going to be with us on Wednesday. It's going to be good to catch up with Sully, man. And just he's actually one of my favorite dudes, and a super humble guy who's really, really smart. So we'll do that. We'll be in Vegas on Wednesday. So the show's coming to you from Vegas on Wednesday. Is that right, DC? Just me and you. I'll be able to see you still, though, right?
I believe so.
Right.
Yeah,
That's important.
Yeah, like we're in the same room.
And we'll hear from Danny Gonzalez on Wednesday as well. Tonight, you're going to get, I think that today, as you go through your day, you're really going to be kind of focused on the NFL stuff. And what does it mean? And then camp opens. Aaron Rodgers goes to camp on Wednesday, he said. Did you hear him on the golf tournament this weekend? Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun stuff, and Hard Knocks will be there, he kind of said with a wry smile. He's going to love it, dude. Don't let him or anybody else tell you that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to love playing to the cameras for Hard Knocks.
He's going to be all over it.
It's going to be so good for his brand, like he needs good for his brand. It's going to be great for him.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of airtime.
All right, the podcasts are up. Jerry Kill, thank you to him. The New Mexico State head football coach was with us today. You can listen to what he had to say, as well as UNM Athletic Director Eddie Nunez. They're both up at sportsanimalabq.com or wherever it is that you get your podcasts. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd will be after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4. We're back with more award-winning radio tomorrow morning, starting at 7 a.m. Adrian looks good on your side, on the visual side. Thank you for your hard work. DC, great show. Appreciate you. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say,